Lattimore, I'm probably not intercepting the ball or getting a ton of PBUs if we don't have any sort of pass rush. DeMario's not making 100 and however many tackles it is if we're not doing a good job of keeping offensive linemen off the second level. So all of those things work together, and I think our guys do a great job of understanding what team defense is really about.
How do you see Cam Jordan speak up and stand out from that group specifically?
Well, I think he talks a lot. Yeah, look, I mean, there's a leadership quality in Cam, and you see it, and he works with these young guys and tries to show them some of the things that he's learned over his career, and I think that's been beneficial. And I think, look, we've got a little bit of that in every single room, a real veteran presence. Call it Tyrann Mathieu in the DB room. We got DeMario with the linebackers, Cam in the front. I think that's, having that good mix of, veteran players and young players, I think is good for our defense.
We've seen a little bit of addition of veteran players, particularly at the linebacker spot with John Bostic and people else. Has that been an emphasis, veteran depth as well, or veteran additions?
Yeah, look, I think so. I think here's the interesting thing about the linebacker position, right? So we've got DeMario, who's obviously proven. We've got Pete Warner, who we felt really good about in what he was able to do last year. And then we have a lot of guys that we're still kind of trying to figure out about. Some of which have, made some significant strides. I think Caden Ellis is a guy that's made some progress, and we've got to find out who's going to be that next guy that can go into the game and help us. And I think that's what this whole evaluation process is all about.
Do you guys run more stuff like in these practices that you do in the preseason game, or at least the last preseason game? Start
No, probably not. We didn't get too exotic with what we were doing. I think this was one of those deals where you want guys to just go out and play, and be able to, evaluate. And so that was kind of the thought process coming in, so we played. We were kind of, I don't know if vanilla is the right term, but we didn't do a ton.
What would you like to see out of this second preseason game?
Yeah, I think again, just go out and compete. Certainly, I'd like to see us score a bunch of points and then not score any. That would be a positive. But yeah, I think I want to see our team go out and compete, because I think that's the most important characteristic that your team has to have is a competitive nature. They got to be fighters, not literally fighters, but they got to go out and fight. And I think our group is made up like that. I think we got a gritty, freaking tough group, and I like that.
Do you expect more of your frontline guys to play Friday night?
I don't know. That's probably going to be a discussion for this evening.
You mentioned Caden Ellis is somebody that's taken some strides. Is there anything specific in terms of maybe where he's taken the most strides, where you've seen the most development?
Yeah, look, I think his ability to play off the ball, and so I think he's probably in as good a shape as he's been in. I think he's moving really well. I've always known that he can play on the line of scrimmage. He's probably got the strongest hands on the team in terms of shedding blocks. So he's a slippery rusher, and so I wanted to see him take some steps forward in terms of an off-the-ball linebacker, playing the Mike linebacker position, being able to get in some matchups with some skill players, and I think he's done a good job.
When you say Alvin's having the best game that you've seen, what are some of the things that make you feel like
Explosive, practicing hard, being a leader, helping the young guys. I've seen all those characteristics. There's some plays that nobody pays attention to where we're throwing the ball on the opposite side of the field, and I see him burst and go, developing that habit because he may be the one that springs the block to spring the ball carrier. Those are things that we ask our guys to do. And look, when Alvin Kamara's doing it, it's pretty easy to demand it out of everybody else. And I see those characteristics out of him. Okay, thanks, guys. Here you go, Doug.
That's great one for me.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right. Said nothing's hard.
Sorry, you walked in with all the food.
Snack
that we're gonna
time.
see this afternoon.
I understand.
apologize.
Yes, sir.
How you feel, just physically and all that, now that you've been doing more and more?
The program that the teams have me on with Coach DA and the training staff that they've had me on, it's really allowed me to like start slowly transitioning and getting back to my old self and getting the flow for the game. And being out here in these joint practices allows me to compete against another guy, work on some technique, and just get back to the real thing.
We've had multiple, we ask a lot of guys about you, and every guy says Mike Thomas looks like Mike Thomas. Do you feel that? Does it feel back for you, or you still would say still getting?
I'd definitely say personally still getting there, but always try to play like nothing happened and put it behind you and just put your foot in the ground and go hard, point A to point B, and try to always just play hard, play with a lot of effort, play to the whistle so that none of those things show up.
What are some of the things that you feel like you need to clear to kind of be like, all right, like I'm there now?
Just everything, just fine tuning everything, mastering my craft, just attention to detail, the little things. Those are the type of things that get you open in this league. Some other things, I could just keep improving every day. That's the good thing about coming out here and having high intensity practices and competing and working on your game and just perfecting your craft. So I feel like I'm far from perfecting my craft, so I feel like every day I can find something to get better at.
When you're out there, like on a day like today, do you maybe appreciate it just a little bit more from having the last 2 years of all the?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you definitely appreciate it, and you just want to encourage the younger guys. Just take care of your body, handle your business, and make the most out of it. Play hard. Don't take a rep for granted, and lead by example.
You obviously have seen what it looks like when it's done right here in 18, 19, 17. Now that it's kind of no longer Sean and Drew, and it's kind of a new era, so to say, do you get a feel that you all can still be special? I'm sure you got a feel maybe on those teams.
Yeah, absolutely. We're surrounded by great coaches. When great coaches gets a player that's hungry and wants to come out here and get better and compete and take coaching, that's what the game's about. Coming out, correcting your mistakes, taking coaching, taking honest coaching, and putting your foot in the ground, playing hard, playing with effort, and the type of things that DA preaches and coaches, the coaches still here. So, when it's time to line up, we just have to execute. That's the biggest thing, executing. And, no discredit to, Drew or Sean. They're tremendous Hall of Famers, great guys, but DA has the same pedigree and the same potential and the same resume, and we're here to prove that.
Like, was there like any feel some certain type of way when you got that first like competitive rep out of the way and you're able to?
Oh yeah, you always want to just go for more, and I don't know. I still feel like every day I'm coming out here, I'm still feeling that every day just to be out here and be back in camp and be able to get reps and get competitive reps, and just even from routes on air to individual, I'm always trying to treat them like game reps.
What is Cody Burns brought to the receivers room? Just kind of how would you describe him?
High effort, great teacher. Has a lot of drills, knows how to combo things. Definitely knows how to improve top ends. All the stuff you need to become a great receiver in this league, he definitely knows how to compartmentalize and improve those little things. So sky's the limit for him at this level, and I'm excited to be on his team and play for him and prove him right.
Like might be kind of a weird question, but just considering how important your hands are, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you do anything like special? Like, do you go get like manicures and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. You got to always get massages, keep the tissues right in your hand, and, always want to keep flexibility in your hands and stuff like that. Definitely get massages on my hands, but, since I had the ankle, I was getting a lot of massage work on my ankle. Forgot about my hands a little bit, but I'm back on that, so I'll get back to that. I definitely love a hand massage.
Dennis said yesterday that he was confident by the time you hit the first game that you would be fully ramped up and ready to go. Based on what you've seen out of yourself or felt out of yourself, you're confident confident that you'll be at that mark by week 1?
Yes, sir. I trust Dennis. I trust his plan that he has for me. And, I'm here to just take coaching and find out the things that I can improve on from here into week 1 and maximize the opportunity of improving those and becoming a better player before we even get to week 1. So just every day is another day to come out here, compete, fine-tune our craft, and meet coach at that point. If he's expecting me to be ready week 1, so I have to be ready week 1.
Anybody have anything else for Mike?
Kind of lactose, so kind of stay away from cheese. Thank you.
Adam, you good? Adam, the play you made by the pylon today, the one where you went.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that play, what you saw, and the pass. Obviously, that was about as good as it gets to get over the DB, right? Talk about that whole play and what you saw.
Wait, which? I don't think that was me, was it?
By the pylon going out from Dalton. That wasn't you. Caught one up here.
Oh, like it was on the sideline?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was me. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was probably the 5-yard line.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Lucas's. I was like, I don't think that was me.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just clear. I'm just really expanding the flat on that play. Yeah. I mean, the guy tried to undercut it, and he put it over top. I mean, Andy's ball placement has been terrific all camp, and I mean, he knows you just get a good feel for it when he's in the huddle and conceptually and everything like that. But yeah, I just did what I was supposed to do, and I just went up and caught it. So.
Do you feel more comfortable sort of making plays and even in ad-lib situations? Like the difference in year 2 from year 1 is it huge?
Yeah, for sure. I just feel more confident. It's just a mindset thing. I've always had an aggressive mindset in the run game. And it's funny, actually, I learned it at tight end U when Kelsey was talking about it. And he's like, you got to transfer that same mindset in the run game to the pass game. Like, this is my ball, as opposed to just like, hey, I'm just going to blow you off the ball in the run game. Now it's like, this is my ball, attack it. And I think I've been doing a really good job of that all camp. And I think that's a huge difference from last year. You want those 50-50 balls, which I struggled with last year, to turn into 80-20, 75-25, whatever it may be. So, yeah, I feel a lot more confident in doing so. Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of teams play that. You got these big, oaky linebackers setting the edge. Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary, very, very good players.
Trying to make sure.
Yeah, it's good. Just scheme-wise, you see different. You just get different combinations, different blocks. And it's cool too when we go out there and it's like, hey, we can figure the scheme out on the fly. Like we haven't game planned these guys like a normal week, where you walk out there and it's like, hey, I know exactly everything that's going on. So it's kind of new to a lot of guys, but we picked it up really fast. And yeah, it's great to go against new scheme. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said this last year, like just talking with guys, whatever. But like when you put a guy like that on the field, it takes 2 sets of eyes off of everyone. Like it takes 2 sets of eyes out of the defense because they got to key on him, because he's such a physical route runner and he just knows how to get open. He's been doing it for a very long time now, and that just opens up everything else for everyone. Like. You can't play certain coverages against us anymore. Certain things teams were doing to us last year, you're not gonna be able to do that this year because Mike's so damn good, but like there's also other guys on our offense now. We got a lot of playmakers, so he's looked terrific and he's been playing really well. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Is this as beneficial with more potential than the season games? Do you see the work in it now?
I'd say it's as been. I mean, it all depends on how much you're playing in the preseason game. Like how many series. But I do like this. I think probably more because you get to go against their ones, like their starters in the preseason game. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna play their starters or whatever. But yeah, I love it personally. It's just mean, it gets old, right? Hitting the same people every single day, hitting Cam every day, and all those guys. So it's a good switch up.
You talked about like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is that something that you just like understand conceptually actually experiencing here out in practice?
Yeah, I mean, I think not necessarily to the full extent yet because we're not in a game plan situation yet. But I'll tell you what, when we come out in 11 personnel this year, you're not gonna be able to put 8 in the box like they were last year and just like daring you to throw it and run. Like, good luck with that, honestly. You know that you can't do that this year. So I think you'll see it more once we get into week 1. Yeah, like AK got a bunch of doubles last year. You know, defensive ends weren't even worried about rushing; they just wanted to hit him when he was coming out of the backfield. So, yeah, it changes everything for him as well. He's been doing a great job. He's awesome to play with. He loves the game. He studies hard. I mean, he probably added 10 pounds this offseason, I'd say. And for him, really, like, he's always a terrific athlete, like great playmaker in the pass game. But I think his biggest strides have been in the run game and just being like, hey, we can put you in these positions and we can trust you to block. You know, like it's hard to game plan that as a defense tendency wise. You know, we get very specific in roles sometimes, and when you have guys that you can do all of it, it gets very hard for defenses to tendency you. So. I think that will add he'll be a huge part of our offense as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because like that was kind of like last year with him, and now it's kind of like you help Taysom a little bit with some of that stuff now too. Obviously, it's more so run game stuff than pass game stuff because Taysom knows exactly where you're supposed to be, this and that type of thing. But yeah, me and Joanna have a really good relationship, and you know, anything he needs, I always answer, and you know, for him, and same vice versa, the other way around. So. Yeah, no, I mean, they're the big thing about them is, I mean, we personally, like, so our defensive line is unbelievable, and I think we probably have the best run defense in the NFL, and that's because we can play with 6 in the box and stop the run. But yeah, it's a different type of defensive end, right? Like Cam's a little different than them. These guys just, you know, they just sit on the edge and their arms are touching the ground when they're standing up, and it's like, oh my God. So, but yeah, they're very, very good players. And when we watched film yesterday, and when we watch it today, we'll see them and we'll be like, damn, like those guys are pretty good. So, yeah, very talented. Good. All right, thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, once again, that's Adam Troutman. I'm going to say something about Adam Troutman. This young man will make a good tight end. You make no mistake about it. That's something it's very essential to your passing game. It's your tight end spot. So I think he's going to make the team. He definitely will make the team. So once again, that's the New Orleans Saints practice reports here on So once again, let's go ahead and go over to the LSU practice reports. We'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to switch this over. And we're going to go over to the LSU practice reports. Okay, we're gonna go over to Buddy Sanji and Mike Scarball, so we'll put them in there so you can hear us. Let us know.
And here we are with a Smoky Investment Team practice report. Another scrimmage out here today on a hot Wednesday. Of course, we looked up, we were mostly in the shade on the sideline closest to the indoor facility today. But a lot was seen today, some high points, low points. And of course, this report is brought to you by the fine folks at the Smoky Investment Team, and we'll talk about them a little bit more in the show. But biggest remarks, buddy. What were the big highlights today?
I think that this team is starting to come together. I think that you are getting ready to cue up the Pointer sisters as we get closer, and I'm so excited. He's so meticulous with everything that he's done. Brian Kelly plans out this thing to the day, to the minute, to the hour, and I think for the first time we saw some continuity with Jaden Daniels and his ability to make decisions without hesitation. We know he can run for days, 21 miles an hour. We know that he can dink and dunk, but I thought he threw some balls downfield today. I thought him and Nuss both had their moments, but right now, to me, Jaden Daniels, this is the best I've seen him look. Confident, fast, decisive. Coach Kelly, as you will hear his comments later on, whenever you see these on Tiger Bait or whatever other site, they had a rough day yesterday and threw some INTs in the red zone. So for what we saw today, I saw the offense having a better day than the defense, and I think Coach Kelly actually admitted that a little bit, although that wasn't the case yesterday.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeray Jenkins has some really nice catches and runs after the catch. I think of the receivers, he was the highlight of the day. Butte had a nice grab as well. Armani Goodwin continues to shine to me, Noah Kane. And if you ask me the three running backs, which of the two who are running with power and which ones are looking like they want it, I know Coach Kelly said that Noah Kane is still trying to feel his way a little bit. He's not right where he's starting to get where he wants him to be. But I think those two look like they're running with a lot more energy and urgency than John Emery is. And I know you felt similar.
Yeah, look, Noah Kane right now, and I didn't even know he wasn't 100%. That goes to show you how smooth he's been. Excellent catching the ball out the backfield, excellent picking up the blitz. They're starting to put more pressure, starting to disguise more. Boy, you're going to be excited when you hear Coach Kelly, when I asked him about the identity of this defense. I loved it when he said, we're going to get after people. We're going to make people uncomfortable on offense. We're going to play a lot of guys. And this battle at corner, you mentioned 22. You better know who 22 is on offense, Armani Goodwin, and you better know 22 on defense, because right now, this kid, this 6-year kid from McNeese, is getting reps with the ones, and Coach Kelly explained it. He has picked up about 20 to 25 pounds of muscle since he's been here. So now he's physically able to compete at this level. You're still going to have Mackay, Jared Bernard Converse, Seven Banks. You'll hear from me talking about all those roles. And we got to see a new place kicker today, Damian Ramos, number 34. If you're looking for him, he's the guy that took the reps with the number ones, and we finally saw some punting. Oh, by the way, you better not get number 19, Jay Bramblett, hurt, because he is appreciably better. Unfortunately, Peyton Todd still having trouble punting the football, but Bramblett also holds. And you can't talk about anybody that's more important to this team right now.
You talk about special teams, and had some issues at center. Coach Kelly was getting after Dellinger on some of his snaps, but as he explained afterwards when he met with us, it's practice 12, and this is where he starts really focusing in and making being a lot more demanding about getting it right and things that need to be. But he's also at the same time gave Garrett praise for everything that he needs to do, and I think he feels that he's got the right guy there. So we'll see. But he's also saying that there's still some spots on that offensive line that aren't settled.
Yeah. Charles Turner, we mentioned this the other night. Charles Turner is still getting some reps with the ones. Look, Garrett Dellinger is going to probably start at center, and put it in your pipe and smoke it right now. There's going to be a bad snap or 2 or 3 this season. The question is it really bad where it forces an INT or a turnover, or is he going to get that down? You know, it's not just a snap. He's got to make all the calls. He hasn't blocked from the center position before. He's been a guard. So give Garrett Dellinger a little bit of grease and leeway because it's not going to be perfect. This is a kid that just started to play there. On the left side, Trevon Sharks and Will Campbell. I don't think those two have gone anywhere. And a couple of media members, we all mentioned it. Miles Frazier inside, Anthony Bradford outside at right side. Bradford still needs to drop a little weight. They're going to move him inside for the Saturday practice. So, and then of course he did mention Emory Jones. How quickly can Emory Jones get into the 2 deep? and also Marcus Dumaville, as well as all reliable. Let's not kick Cam Wire to the curb. Number 61 Cam Wire is going to play some football. Just doesn't look like he's going to start, but he will definitely play on that line this year.
The Smoky Investment Team has over 45 years of combined experience in handling their clients' financial needs, and this financial environment experience matters. Call Bart or Brian Smoky at 318-448-3201. That's 318-448-3201. And remember, experience matters. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA/SIPC. Bart and Brian Smoky, known them for over 20 years. No finer people out there. Any of your financial needs, investments, 401k, SEP plans, anything that you need to do to move money around, any questions you may have, they're who you absolutely want to deal with, right there in Alexandria. So if you're anywhere in central Louisiana or anywhere in Louisiana, give them a call, and they'll bend over backwards to earn your business.
Hey, Harold Perkins is moving on up like the Jeffersons. He is doing nothing but running to the football, and what a great athlete. He's running with the twos at the linebackers. By the way, it does look like Malik Neighbors is probably going to be your starting punt returner. He is dynamite and TNT in a bottle. We also know Javen Nicholas, this little 33, folks, another double set of numbers. 33 West Weeks on defense, going to play big. Got bigger guns than Mike, believe it or not, and he'll play someone as a linebacker. But Javen Nicholas, I've watched him, I've talked to people. This guy makes people miss, and he was the second punt returner. As we said, in case you hadn't heard it yet, but Coach Kelly said they are rotating a bunch of quarterbacks in. Joe Fouché is not Joe Fouché. Something is a little step off there, and Major Burns is taking advantage of that. And so you're going to have a lot of guys play, but
Major Burns is feeling it right now.
Yeah, he's feeling it right now. He's playing a lot of with confidence. And here's the thing, folks: you've got to communicate when you're on defense. And everybody jokes with me and Mike sometimes. Not on the same page or interrupt. That's just what we do. So don't take it personally if he interjects something while I'm talking, or I do the same when you're talking. But you got to get on the same page, and it starts with communication. I thought LSU looked appreciably more in sync today than they did last week. And of course, we've got a couple more scrimmages to fine tune.
I think all three quarterbacks threw the ball very well today. Of course, Nussmeier and Daniels got the majority of the reps in the second part. But like Brian Kelly said, he's also getting the quarterbacks involved now in the signal calling. And we're going to have the full Brian Kelly that's on our YouTube page as well. That'll be uploaded right after this will be. Brian Kelly was very candid today. And but you can tell they're about ready to turn the page, and this is getting really ramped up a notch in intensity in the coming days. You're probably a little over a week away to where they really start installing stuff. And if you're a guy fighting for a position, if you don't show up one particular day, you might get left behind, because it's really start to get nut cut time here at LSU.
Well, look, everybody was enamored with that 2019 offense with the 5 wides and the empty backfield. You're going to have tight ends on the field. Sometimes there's going to be 2 tight ends, and Nick Storrs is your blocking guy. Mason Taylor can do it all. Of course, Cole Taylor had a good spring and has 1 touchdown reception. The other guys, Jack Mashburn coming in at the 4 tight end. Going to play a lot of tight ends. LSU loaded at wide receiver. You get Besh back. You get Chris Hilton back. We were making some inquiries. Those guys will be available for full contact, I think, in a week or so. Butte, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., another guy along with Jeray Jenkins. Coach Kelly said it's time for Jeray Jenkins to be a leader. Brian Thomas Jr. got to catch the ball in the red zone.
See, but Brian Thomas, you're talking about leadership. Kayshawn's a quiet guy. Brian Thomas is a quiet guy.
Yep.
And so he probably is. You know, Jack Besh is not quiet. But you would love for Jeray Jenkins to be that vocal leader. And like I said earlier, he had a fantastic day catching the ball today, run after catch. And going to have a fantastic video package from today. I shot just about everything. Huge and big, fantastic footage package that will be uploaded to Tiger Bait Premium this afternoon. You're going to want to check that out. Go to Tiger Bait, subscribe. Try us out for $1 on our $1 trial period. And on the back end, like I always tell you, choose the annual package. You're basically getting 3 months free versus going monthly. And I think if you're an LSU fan, you're gonna get our text alerts, our newsletters. We've sent out like 5 or 6 newsletters in the last 7 days because there's been so much going on. Recruiting, Kai Prian with a commitment last night, a top receiver who I think's vastly underrated. We're gonna wait to see if the LHSA rules him eligible after transferring to St. James from Ascension Catholic. But LSU now at 21 commitments. We're gonna talk a lot more about that tonight on Tiger Bait Live at 8 o'clock on YouTube. Be sure to tune in that. Hit the subscription button and the notification bell. With everything we're uploading to YouTube, you'll get notifications right to your cell phone every time we upload something. And we got a lot of stuff coming your way and even more plans in the coming weeks.
Don't worry, be happy. This thing is coming together. Look, LSU's going to be really good on defense, but today the offense had the better day of it, and you're going to be excited when you hear Brian Kelly talk about what him and Matt House want to do from a defensive standpoint. Oh, by the way, the best 2 trash talkers.
We get Matt House on Friday.
That's correct.
Yep, go ahead.
But the best 2 trash talkers on the team, Malik Neighbors on offense, and number 2, Mekhi Garner on defense. Those guys love to trash talk. Like Mike says, you don't want to be too much trash talking, but you got to communicate that on the field. Daniel's looking much better and more comfortable and more confident today. Nussmeier still in the battle, and as you would imagine, there were no questions or even intimations of them naming a quarterback at this point. There's no actual reason to do that. So a lot of battles, but I thought they looked appreciably better today, Mike.
That's it. Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Nope, that's it.
All right, guys. See you tonight on Tiger Bait Live. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this practice report, and please share to your social media and spread the word. Big thanks to all of you for doing that, as our YouTube channel is growing by leaps and bounds. It's been amazing, and thank you all. We couldn't do it without all you guys tuning in. But see you tonight on Tiger Bait Live at 8.
Okay, once again, that concludes the Tiger Bait LSU practice reports. I'll be honest with you, what they're saying is absolutely true. This defense is going to be good. Make no mistake about it. I mean, it's not going to be like last year, just giving up yards and giving up big plays and stuff like that. So I'll be honest with you, this is going to be a very good defensive team this year for LSU. Also, the offense is going to be fine. Sure, you have Daniels and Nussmeier fighting for the quarterback position, but I think either one of them is going to make that step up to the first quarterback position. So, without further ado, thanks for joining. This concludes Sports Talk tonight. We appreciate we appreciate your patience. We had a lot of technical problems, so hopefully in the future we can get this resolved. Everybody have a good rest of your Wednesday night.